Okay, so what I'm going to do now is show you how to modify a color by making a sepia tone or colorize a black and white photograph. So here we have this picture, and it's a black and white photograph, and a couple of things I can do. One is I can colorize the whole picture. So if I go up to image, I go to adjustments, I go down to hue saturation, I click the colorize option, and I can make the image sepia or whatever I want. Adjust the saturation, and that's a really cool effect. I'm going to click cancel. You can also do this with a color photo. Take the color photo, go to image adjustments, and desaturate it, turn it to black and white, and then you can do the same thing to the color photo. I can also go to image adjustments, and I can use black and white and click the tint option and create once again this one color effect. Okay, let's click cancel. So that's always fun. Another thing I can do is colorize the photograph. So to do that, I'm going to copy the layer, Control J, or I can just grab the layer, drag it down to the Make New button, a little page plus symbol, and make a copy. And what I want to do is use a blending mode and a paintbrush to paint into the top layer. So I'm going to go up to my blending modes, and right now it's set to normal, and I'm going to set it to color. So what I'm doing is it's holding all of the elements in the top layer except for the color is going to be passed into the next layer down. I'm going to set the opacity to about 35–40%, something like that. Then I grab my paintbrush, my standard paintbrush, and I pick a color with my color picker, whatever color I want. And then when I paint, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, Control plus, change the size of the brush with the left and right square bracket key. And when I paint, I can literally paint into that surface and do this hand-tinted, old-fashioned colorized techniques. And I remember in college when I took photography and we had traditional photographic dark rooms, we would take black and white photos and we would hand tint them with dyes, Dr. Martin's watercolor dyes, and you would literally take a brush and paint over the surface of the canvas. And this is very similar to that type of technique. So you can see here how I can literally paint over this and change it into a hand-tinted photograph look, which is really cool of old vintage photographs, is to take them, or even a new photograph, you can take it, make it black and white, and then hand tint it. And this works really well. Now, what it doesn't work well on is where there's not a whole lot of color. So if I paint over like some of the white areas, it doesn't gloam on as well as it should, because there's not as much material for it to grab. But that's a really cool technique. That's a colorization technique, and then I showed you how to create a sepia tone.